Okay, hi. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing great. Thank you for coming and joining my class on Photoshop for fashion designers. Now, as you know, and as you know, that this session is mainly targeted at teaching you guys how to quickly change clothes on your models. Well, not actually, but then what I mean is that in Photoshop, I am going to tell you few techniques through which you'll be able to just swap out your patterns that you've made based on your creativity, of course, and swap them out just by clicking a single or two buttons. That's it. And I'll be trying to make it so simple for you to understand that after that, only your creativity would be your limit. All right. So, without any further delays, let's get into it. Okay. So, let's start with this image of a model which has been shot on a white background, and the model is wearing a clean white shirt, nothing too complex. Now I basically am going to focus on changing and replacing a lot of designs, a lot of patterns very quickly. So that's the ultimate goal, that you should be able to like I said, very quickly swap out or change your patterns. So for example, in a typical case, what would happen is, let's say that you are working in a studio or in an organization, and you're just about to pack up and go home, and suddenly your manager or your whoever is the team lead, he just shows up on the scene, and he just tells you that that design that you have put on your model, that pattern is not really working. So tomorrow morning, or let's say today evening, the consignment needs to go out, and the boss wants to see a different kind of a pattern on your model. So essentially, these are typical situations where you should be knowing how to quickly change and get over with it. Now, a word of caution. This technique that I'm going to tell you, you might not want to tell this to your boss, how fast and how quickly you can do it, for obvious reasons. Yeah. So let's get into it. Okay, guys. So that's my model, and here I have, well, by the way, I'm working in Photoshop CC version 2019, and so this is the image that I've opened up, and I've just taken it from Google. So as you would know that by default, any image that you open up in Photoshop, it opens on a background image that's logged. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start off by using something known as a pen tool, which is here. And the way this functions is that you click and you drag, and then again click, and then drag, and then again click, and then close it off. So now this is going to give you a straight shape. This is going to give you straight angles. However, let's say that you wanted to have some curves going on. So what you need to do is, you essentially need to just click, and when you click this square, this is known as an anchor point. And when you have clicked, after that, whichever direction you want to go in, you need to go there, click, and then just don't release your mouse yet. Just drag. Now these are the lines that you are drawing on both sides of the anchor point. These are known as control handles. And these are essentially something what you have studied in your school, maybe known as tangents, right? So these are like tangents. So they are basically going to touch the curvature, and then they are going to guide you which direction you can go. Now, based on your choice, you may or you may not want to see this guiding path, right? Which is like a rubber band here. So if you don't want to see it, you can come here on the top and go to the settings icon, the gear icon, and click the rubber band. Just click it off. Okay, and you no more have it. You go back, switch it on again, and you have it back. And then if you close the path, there you have a particular vector path. So this is essentially what we are going to work with. This is going to be the foundation. This is going to be the the basics of how this technique is going to work. All right. So I'll just get rid of this. I deleted it. Now we'll just head on to the paths section here. If you don't already have this open, let's say if it's not there already, you can go up to Windows and go to paths and open it up. So it will show it up here. Now if you come down to the pen tool again and start clicking, now just notice what happens here. The moment I start clicking, there's something known as a work path that comes up. All right. So essentially, when you're doing this, when you're drawing a path, it's getting saved here automatically. This is like a default setting. All right. So now, excuse me, I'll just zoom in by hitting Command plus and Command minus, or Control plus and Control minus on Windows. Go to the pen tool, and let's say I'll just first for the first part of it, I'll just start on the shoulder part, and I'll just click here, come down here, and there's another tip here. So what I can do is I can hold down the space bar and dynamically move my position. Okay, so that's like a live mode going on there. So I just click it. Then another thing is, if you hold down Alt, you can control the length of the control handles, and then keep going about the business. Then bring it back using Alt key, take it ahead, bring it here, space bar, right? So now I'm going to go a little quickly on this. I'm going to fast forward like a time lapse here, and I don't want to bore you guys just because of that. So okay, so I'll just do it till the elbow, and then after that I'll just time lapse. Sorry. Okay, so now I've just quickly done it, and these are the parts that I have. So I have the upper hand, the lower hand, and the left cuff. So now comes the fun part. So what I'm supposed to do now is that I need to make a vector mask, something known as a vector mask. So when I say a vector mask, essentially what you need to do is you need to select this upper hand or maybe the lower hand or the left cuff, whatever, wherever you want to apply it. So you select the upper hand, you go to the layers. Now just drag this background layer onto the new layer icon, duplicate it, and switch the visibility off, and then select this, and then Command or Control on Windows, click on the mask area, the layer mask area, and it says, look here, it says add vector mask, right? So that's what you get. And if you notice, if we zoom into it, it's a very clean kind of a mask. All right. Now, if I wanted the complete left hand, I would have done is I would have just copied this, Control or Command C, and pasted it. So you copy it, okay, let's keep it separate only. So now, since I already have this, I think I added a new layer. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's another layer here. That happens sometimes. Okay, so click again on it and choose your lower hand or upper hand or whatever. And then bring this up. So now you have this, and I'll just go here and add a solid color just to make sure that you're able to clearly see what's happening, and add this layer below the target layer. Okay. Now I'll again come to this half moon, and I have something known as a pattern adjustment layer here, right? So I'll click on it, and instantly what I get is these frogs. Alright, so doesn't make any sense? Don't worry, it will. So I have the option of switching to different patterns. So let's say probably I want to go with this dotted pattern. Okay. And I'll take you through the process of creating a pattern from scratch in a different class, but just understand this process. So I'll scale this up so that I can see the dots on the shirt clearly, and I'll say okay. Now, so I have this sleeve here, okay, and what I'll do is I'll just select this, open the visibility on, right click, and say create clipping mask. Alternatively, what you can do is you can hold down the Option key or the Alt key and click somewhere in the middle. So you instantly get, so you're basically masking everything out to that particular area, to that particular sleeve. Okay. And now what you need to do is, if you just change these blend modes here, so what you start seeing is instantly you'll start seeing that the pattern has actually blended very nicely with the folds. We're not done yet. So the first thing that we need to make it more believable actually is that we need to displace it. Okay. And the second step that we need to take is, actually these steps can be in any order, doesn't really matter. So we'll need to use something known as a liquefy tool. Okay. So let's first get into that. I'll select this, I'll go to the filter, and I'll say liquefy. Okay, I'll say yes to whatever it's saying. Okay, then I'll come down here. I'll say background maybe. I think blend should be nice so that I can see what's happening. Opacity is to be able to understand and look at the base image that's going on. Okay, and here, so I'll be basically using two tools here, nothing more than that. So I have a forward warp tool and I have a freeze mask tool. So wherever you see these folds happening, so I'll just use the freeze mask tool and paint probably like that over that area, and then use the forward warp tool just to push it in. Maybe make the brush size a little smaller by using the square brackets, and then start pushing these patterns inside the fold. Okay, again freeze mask, that's freeze mask. Again use your, oh, I'm running on a low battery. And you see what's happening? The shape is actually taking up the shape of the folds, right? Now, it's just a matter, so if you are able to understand and grab this concept, it's just a matter of changing the pattern and you're done. That's it. So you just need to come here to this adjustment layer, go to pattern, double click, and since this is a smart object, this will open in a different tab. And double click on the pattern, come here, change it to something else like maybe this one. If you want, you can adjust the scale as well. That's too big, maybe I'll choose that and say OK. Save, Command or Control S on Windows, come here, and the folds are still there, right? And you can even play with the opacity a little bit, or maybe switch to a different blend mode. I had taken a multiply blend mode. You may just want to go with something else, like maybe, I think that's too hot, maybe this one. Okay, you don't like it? Go back here, come down here, maybe take something else. Maybe this one or maybe this one. Oh, that's a beach kind of a shirt. Say OK. You have this. Come back here, switch to multiply, and that's not actually too bad, right? It's quite good, I think. Yeah. So that's about it. That's the basic technique that you work with. Try it out, and then let's see the results.